At this point, you've seen loads of gold farming videos by me, by everyone. Everyone's doing gold farming videos because, quite honestly, there's not really that much else going on, is there? You know, phase one, I'd imagine the vast majority of people watching this, you've probably cleared all content already. You've probably got all your heroic keys. You're probably just making gold because, as I say, they're really, other than alts, there's probably not that much to do. But this is a weird one, and you're probably not going to be able to do it. The reason I said you're probably not going to be able to do it is because you do need to be a druid. You could probably do it as a rogue, and I say probably. I'm going to be spending the next 4 or 5 days getting my rogue to 70. I'm not really bothered about getting it geared. I'll get it Kara attuned, but that's about it. And I'm going to be attempting all of these farms as a rogue because it's going to be easier to get to the chests. But this particular one is basically, as a druid, in decent gear. Obviously, my druid is decently geared. And if your druid's decently geared or average geared, you know, at least got a few bits from Kara and stuff like that, you'll be absolutely fine. But I'm soloing Orkney Crypts. And when I say soloing it, I mean I'm soloing the trash that I want to solo. I'm getting chests. If I was herbing and mining, I can get herbs, I can get ancient lichen, I can get adamantite deposits, rich adamantite, and I'm going to show you in the video where a couple of those are. One of the spawns of adamantite in this particular run that I'm going to show you, you wouldn't have been able to get to even if you was a miner. I'm not a miner, so I couldn't get it anyway, but yeah, this particular one you wouldn't be able to get. But there's lichen that you'd be able to get. There was a chest that I got, there was another chest that I potentially could have got, but obviously I only killed the first mobs just to show you how easy it is, and then obviously I'll just voice over and let you know the ones that you would kill. But basically the main mob we're looking for are these, the Orkney monks. Now they've got a really weird loot table. They drop a lot of recipes and they're just BOE recipes, and if we look at the price of some of them, you can see. So let's look at like mystical Skyfire diamond. So it's not like this drops off of loads and loads of stuff, you know, it's only in dungeons, and one of those is Orkney Crypts. So, you know, if we was to look on Nexus Hub at mystical Skyfire diamond, you know, this sells from sort of 132 gold on the EU, 231 gold on the US, and then we've got things like, we won't worry about the epic ones because obviously chance of them dropping is quite slim, but it does drop off these mobs anyway. But Embrace of the Dawn, that's another 38 gold, 74 gold on the US. Formula Enchant Boots Vitality, I can more or less guarantee that this one will be pretty profitable if it drops. Yeah, this one you're looking at 200, you know, 200-ish gold, up to sort of 350 gold on the US. You get it, I mean, this has got a huge loot table. Obviously there are some epics that you can get. Fellsteel Gloves unfortunately are bind on pickup, so you would have to be a blacksmith to get these, but it is the only place that they drop, I believe. So yeah, it is literally the only place they drop. So if you're a blacksmith for some reason, as a stealth class, then you can come in and get these. But even if you was a warrior or anything really, you could quite easily skip around the trash and pull the first monk that you'll see me pull in just a second. But like I say, it's just a huge loot table. They drop loads of greens, cloth, everything else as well. And most of the mobs are really easy. In particular, the Vindicators die very quick. The monks practically do no damage on a half-decently geared druid. And as long as you know how to prioritise the non-elite adds that spawn when you pull mobs, you're not going to have any problems at all. Now you'll see I kill various packs of mobs in here because like there was a couple of mobs in front of a chest that I wanted to get to. There was also an Ancient Lichen next to that chest, so again, if you was herbalism, you'd be able to get the chest and you'd be able to get the herb. I got a blue gem out of the chest, so it's a very profitable farm, but it's a very weird one because, as I say, without being a druid, I even think a rogue might struggle, but I will prove that right or wrong once my rogue 70, which hopefully will be by the end of the weekend. But let's jump in and I'll show you what I mean. So basically, you'll see me mark this monk, so when you come in, just stealth straight through the middle. That monk that stood with that pack will actually move, and it's perfectly safe. This is what I mean. If you can skip past the trashers as any class in here, just by sort of being careful, getting around the outside, you'd be able to pull the monk that's behind us now, and just pull it and kill it just next to this sort of tomb where I'm stood now. And if you're a blacksmith, you might have a chance of being able to get your Fellsteel gloves just by repeatedly killing this one mob. But you'll see how quick it dies. It's really not, I just stay in cat form. It doesn't hit that hard. As I say, I know that, you know, my gear is reasonably good. You know, I'm pretty much in sort of, you know, tier 4 gear, mostly tier 4 and, you know, Clefdoof set and stuff like that. But whilst the gear is very good, it's not going to make that much of a difference, you know, if you was in half the gear I'm in, because you can see it just does practically no damage. It's not even worth worrying about. But, you know, these mobs, you've seen the loot table, they drop tons and tons of greens. On this particular mob there was nothing, but obviously silver and neverweave cloth, which is nice. But now you can see that there's a chest over there and there's an ancient lichen as well, and I want to get these. Now the Vindicators die very quick, but the Soul Priests are the ones that do the damage. So if you've got a pool like this, I wouldn't even recommend it. I try my best not to ever fight a Soul Priest when I'm doing these runs, because they are quite irritating. They do a lot of damage. It can get a bit dangerous, whereas the Vindicators, they do a bit of damage, but they die very quick. Now you can see a cleric spawned. Obviously any cleric should always be your absolute #1 priority. The Possessors have got very little health. You can pretty much one-shot them. I don't even bother hitting it here because you're the only person in the dungeon, so they can't mind control you anyway. So there's no need to worry about the Possessors. Just let your Thorns kill them, or just throw the occasional swipe in and they'll die. But the Soul Priest you want to get down really quick if you are trying to fight a Soul Priest and a Monk, or a Soul Priest and a Vindicator. But as I say, I only do this. I only fight anything that's a non-monk when I'm trying to get a chest. So in this particular case, we'll fast forward through. You can see that there's very little threat here. I can now stun the Vindicator and get myself healed up if I want to do that. I use Frenzied Regen at the moment, but everything's pretty safe. You can see the Vindicators drop pretty quick. But then once the Vindicator's dead, obviously finish the Possessor off as well, and then loot the chest. And as I say, if you're Herbalism, you'd then also be able to obviously get this ancient lichen or lichen, whatever, I don't care, whatever you want to call it, that's what you can get. We was lucky with this chest. We got a green, we got a super mana pot, and we got a green pair of bracers, so you know, overall pretty good. But when you look at the chat log there, 12 silver, 35 silver, 6 silver, 3 silver, you know, we're getting obviously the full share of the silver that drops, so it's actually quite good just for raw gold as well. Now this particular pack, the only reason I'm pulling it is just to show you how you can handle a Vindicator and a Monk. Ideally you want to kill any pack that is a Monk and a Vindicator, but not packs that are Monks and the Soul Priests, because they're just quite annoying. Obviously like here we're focusing on the Cleric first, and then we're going to kill the Stalker, which is the other non-elite, because it puts a poison on, which is quite annoying. So we just focus down the non-elites first, because they obviously die a lot quicker. Then we'll focus the Vindicator down, because the Vindicator, as I say, it's not got much health. It doesn't really do a great deal, but it still does more damage than the Monk. So we take down the Stalker, we take down the Vindicator, and then we take down the Monk. And as I say here, the Vindicators we're not really that interested in. It's only because they die quick that we actually take them if they're with a Monk. But it is absolutely the Monks that we're interested in. One thing you need to watch out for on the Monks is if you're going to do what I do there, like stun, barkskin, and heal, they can interrupt. So given the choice between the Vindicator and the Monk, you should always stun the Monk before you start healing, just to reduce that chance of it actually earth shocking you. But once you've killed these two, obviously loot them, you'll see that, you know, it's a very comfortable farm so far. Now going through here, you've got a Vindicator and a Monk again. I'm not going to bother killing anything else for the rest of the run, because I can just show you what you need to do. There's a mine there. If you wanted to get to that mine because you are a miner, then all you've got there is a Monk and a Soul Priest. You could do them comfortably. You know, you've seen me do it already. Well, a Soul Priest and a Vindicator, which is actually probably a more deadly combo. But if there weren't a mine there, you'd leave them and you would do the Vindicator and the Monk that's on the opposite side to where that mine is. Then keep going through. Here you got a Monk and a Vindicator again, so I would kill them both, focus the Vindicator down first, then focus on the Monk. And then I believe we get the same again through here. Again, we've got a Monk and a Vindicator, so we would kill both of those. Now in here, obviously I've not got track mines or anything, track veins or, you know, find herbs, so I'm looking around manually just to see if I can find some for you guys. But, you know, there are mines that can spawn in that room and they're perfectly safe to get. Be careful when you're going across the bridge, because on the bridge obviously the stealthed eyes can come out and, well, blow up and blow you off the bridge. So just stealth through, just be careful, hug the outside. The eyes are normally in the middle. You got two Monks here at the bottom of the boss platform. You want to kill both these Monks, because again we're looking for those juicy recipes that drop. But once you've killed them both, you know, depending on what ads you get come out, you know, focus again the Clerics, the Sorcerers, the Stalkers. Don't worry about the Possessors unless you want to just quickly one-shot them or swipe them down. So once these two are dead, you can get past this boss quite easily without stealth. So you just hug the wall while it's at the back and get in this little cubby hole. Wait here, and then when the boss moves to the front towards the steps, then you can quite safely sneak round to another couple of Monks that you're going to kill. And as you can see, there's a lot of Monks in here, and it's the Monks that we're after. You know, these are the ones that drop the recipes, drop loads of greens, drop, you know, all the stuff that we want. So make sure you're killing every single Monk that you can, other than if they're with one of those Soul Priests. If they're with a Vindicator, do it, but if they're with a Soul Priest, it's not worth the hassle. But once the boss has moved back forward towards the steps, then it's quite safe without stealth. You can see here, I'm not stealthed. You can just walk straight around the back of it, and then to the next 2 monks. Now there's not a lot else to kill, if I'm honest with you. You can go and have a look around for mines or ancient lichen or chests, but even if they're there, the odds of you being able to get them are going to be quite slim, because the next 2 rooms are packed full of mobs. Now in my gear I can do the first pull on these skeletons. There's 4 of them. They do hit hard, and it is a bit touch and go. I've died doing this, I've survived doing this, you know, it's really just rolling the dice. So I wouldn't even bother unless you're in exceptional gear. I can't get any further than this, actually solo, as in I'll pull this first pack of 4 skeletons, the next pull is 5 skeletons, and 5 is definitely too much for me. But there is a mine in here on this particular run, which again, you wouldn't be able to get to. It's as simple as that. This is not just the only place where the mine spawns. Like I say, you could have got the mine in the previous room before the boss, which would have been absolutely safe, and you'd have been able to get 2 mines this run. I don't know, 7 or 8 monks dead, and, you know, a few vindicators, probably plenty of cloth, greens, raw silver, you know, easy life. Here you wouldn't do anything because it's a vindicator and a soul priest, so you would just leave this. There's just no need to do anything. And then in the last boss room, we do nothing, because you can have a look around for mines or lichen, and if it's safe to get them, grab them. But yeah, you're not going to kill the boss, you're not going to kill all these packs due to the sheer amount of AoE. And there is a chest, unfortunately, but we're not going to be able to get to it. So this is pretty much where the run ends. You can pretty much just get past the boss, on the bridge, the big eye boss, and then kill those monks after that pack, and then go out and reset. Or if you've got someone outside to reset for you, obviously do that. That's pretty much what I do. As in, I don't bother going any further now. I literally just get past that boss, kill the 2 monks that are behind him, because it's always 2 monks, and then out, reset, do it again. And you kill a fair few monks. I've had a couple of recipes. I've probably made about, I don't know, 1100 gold in here so far, and I've probably done 6 runs. Yeah, I've not done that many. I know it comes down to luck, and it'll come down to luck with you. You might do 20 runs and not see a single recipe. You might do 20 runs, not be able to get a single chest. But then you might do 2 runs back to back. You got chests with an epic in, or with, uncut blue gems, and you get one of those enchanting recipes drop. So it's just a farm that I wanted to share. By all means, it's not for everyone, but it's doing well for me at the moment, and I've not seen anyone talk about it at all. And the mobs are just quite easy to be able to solo as a feral druid. So let me know how you get on with it. As I say, just a bit of fun. Just go and challenge yourself, because it's not easy. And let me know how you get on. So peace out. See you on the next one.